Aircraft manufacturers today is more than 3 times higher than it was back in the early 2000s. At the same time, a certain portion of orders is in danger of not being filled due to the financial instability of certain airlines, travel industry turbulence, and other factors. But despite all the potential risks, most airlines are expected to continue developing their fleets. However, regardless of whether an airline wants a newly built or a mid-life aircraft, currently less than a quarter of aircraft operators have the luxury of funding the acquisitions themselves. The remaining carriers can turn to banks, leasing companies, capital markets, or governmental support. Banks remain a traditional source of aircraft financing for many airlines. Moreover, Western banks are not the only ones trying to enhance their positions in the market. For example, Asian banks, and particularly ones from China, have already doubled their share of global aircraft financing over the past several years. With regard to bank loans, a mid-life Boeing 737 NG might be found on the market for approximately $25 million. On average, an operator may receive a $20 million loan with a 3.5 to 4.5% interest rate, plus the 3-month LIBOR rate and a balloon. As a result, a 60-month bank loan will cost the carrier almost $3 million. But the cost of loanable funds will be getting more expensive as countries continue implementing the new banking system regulations known as Basel III. These regulations require banks to significantly improve the quality of their assets in order to be able to sell them during times of crisis. Thus, while the banking system is facing a more scrutinized future, aircraft financing opens new opportunities for those not regulated by Basel III. For instance, Boeing has reported that airlines across the world have attracted almost $23 billion through various capital market tools in 2013. In 2014, United Airlines alone has issued almost $950 million worth of enhanced equipment trust certificates. Unlike bank loans, which focus on an airline's credit rating, EETCs are usually issued based on the value of the asset itself. This allows lower interest rates and attracts more potential investors. And in case a carrier declares bankruptcy, the certificate holders take over ownership of the asset. But do they know what to do with it next? Some do not. For that reason, many investors prefer to cooperate with leasing companies who can offer both short and long-term investment strategies. For airlines, aircraft leasing has also become a preferable tool to expand their fleets. Though a 5-year finance lease of a mid-life Boeing 737 NG might be a bit more expensive than a bank loan, it will give the carrier larger financial flexibility over the lease period due to cheaper and fixed lease payments. At the same time, those carriers who do not feel the need to actually own their aircraft are choosing operating leases instead, as they don't burden their books or cash flows. But there is a certain challenge for leasing companies in satisfying demand. A major issue for them is finding large equity investors who are willing to expend considerable amounts of capital on aircraft assets. And as for the investors, well, they don't usually have enough experience or understanding of aviation in order to be able to manage such assets effectively. For that reason, the future of aircraft finance will largely depend on the cooperation of these two market players. Meanwhile, aircraft values were quite stable during the third quarter of 2014. The graphics show that during the period, narrow-body airplanes didn't see any substantial changes in their values. Similar trends can be seen in the wide-body aircraft market. For example, during the winter period, the price of the Boeing 777-200 and 300 dropped 5.5% and 4% respectively, but managed to maintain their values at a 0% growth rate during the summer period. At the same time, the lease rates of all aircraft types saw a minor increase during the third quarter of the year. The trend can be explained by the natural growth of demand during the summer season, as well as by the overall popularity of aircraft leasing services in the aviation market. This has been an exclusive market review for the third quarter of 2014, prepared for you by Avia AM Leasing. Many thanks for watching, and until next time, goodbye.